It is a matter of luck to snatch a point from Bayern Munich. It was always a special occasion when we faced Bayern Munich. Not only Hoeneß and Nagelsmann facing their old clubs again, but it is the last homecoming match of Nicolas Zule, who was a core member with Nagelsmann in Hoffenheim. On his Bayern jersey, the result was satisfactory and should be a huge boost for getting a place in the Champions League group stage next season. But how did we get the point? As predicted, Bayern started the match strongly and made no mercy by putting all the attacking forces in the starting lineup. Although we could benefit from getting the counter-attack several times and eventually Baumgartner putting the ball into the net in the middle of the first half, the offside trap was really shaky and just managed to trap Müller and Lewandowski in the last second. It was a bit lucky not to have the complete letdown, especially to what we played in the second half. Unnecessary bad passes and several serious mistakes at the back nearly paid off the match. It was very lucky that all the efforts made by Musiala, Sané and Gnabry went wide or saved by Baumann. We should have conceded 2 to 3 goals. It is the usual Bayern, not even having mentioned the handball incident of Stefan Posch in front of our goal. Honestly, I think the referee has to review the incident again, but nothing happened at last. We really escaped from it. Though I think Posch should not be caught for the penalty kick. I really appreciate what Hoeneß did in the later part of the second half. He introduced Abel Guma, Jacob Bernd Larsen, and Dennis Geiger, and he switched the team to a more balanced and even display, making the players less nervous and shaky. We became more solid in our home half, yet resuming our high pressing tactics in the front. On some occasions, we could have scored a winning goal thanks to the lowly Kamaric and the indecisive Bernd Larsen. The last 15 to 20 minutes should be the true color of Hoffenheim. That's why I think we were very lucky to get a point. On the other hand, we were a bit unlucky not to get all the 3 points. Both Bayern and Hoffenheim could have won the match. The road to the Champions League next season is far from conclusion. It is a very tight competition between us, Leverkusen, RB Leipzig, and Freiburg. Leverkusen could not seize the opportunity to widen the gap due to its own instability. Sometimes they lose or draw the match consecutively, but they have one of the strongest forces in the front line in the Bundesliga. Adding up to it is the introduction of Usman Leicester. RB Leipzig has become more complex and organized thanks to the effort of Tedesco. He filled out most of the gaps and loopholes left by Jesse Marsch in the midfield and defensive areas. Freiburg is still very resilient recently. Christian style formation seems to last for longer than expected. Morale, tenacity, and discipline are their most powerful weapon. Sometimes it counts more when it comes to the knockout matches. This time I think it is really exceptional and miraculous. When you look into the last 9 matches matched up, it is interesting to find that the 4 teams are going to be challenged by both Frankfurt and Mönchengladbach, including the 4 teams matching one another. RB Leipzig still has to fight for a place in the Europa League semi-final. The first leg and the second leg will be played in between the league match against us. Don't forget they have to play for the DFB Pokal semi-final at the end of April. When looking into the RB Leipzig schedule, they also need to play Dortmund and Union Berlin. On the paper, they have the worst rundown and they have the busiest schedule. We should try to exploit the possible weakest link on the 11th of April. For Leverkusen, they neither have the easiest matchup coming up nor having the good shape recently. I really hope that they keep the unsteady and wobble performance, though I think they are likely out of the Europa League very soon. Unbreakable Freiburg, well, the remaining fixture seems to be a bit easy for them, with home matches playing against us, Bayern Munich, and Mönchengladbach. Once again, they have to go for a place in the DFB Pokal final and try to make the club record. They also need to play Leverkusen on the last match day. Too early to say they are the one to beat. It is hard to make any prediction at the moment. My only thought so far is that the third and the fourth spot could only be decided on the second last or last match day. Then how about us, Hoffenheim? Our team has the away matches against RB Leipzig, Frankfurt, and Mönchengladbach, while having the consecutive home matches against Freiburg and Leverkusen. Lucky that it is not the worst schedule, but still a big challenge to our capacity. We have to get something from playing with RB Leipzig and Freiburg, and must highly concentrate when playing away against Frankfurt. Otherwise, it would be a fatal setback for getting into the top 4. The only advantage to us is that we hope RB Leipzig and Leverkusen could stay as longer as they could in the Europa League knockout stage. And the only way our team could clinch a place in the top 4 should be keeping our head cool and calm, working like what we did in the last 15 minutes against Bayern Munich with the help of Hoeneß, making fewer missed passes and avoiding letting the opponent press us so easily at the edge of our penalty area. And of course, it is also important to make fewer idle passes. Don't always employ the offside trap tactics. It doesn't work every time. We need to press more regularly and incessantly from the midfield, using the clever defensive tactics, like going for interception instead of hard tackling. I hope Angelo Stiller could be back to his top once again very soon. Hoeneß should also reconsider the role of Kramaric. We are glad that he finally renewed his responsibility in Hoffenheim for 3 more years. But the question is, should he always be in the starting lineup? He is one of a kind, yet a bit too slow to our system. The Hoeneß system needs fast moving and agility. How about putting him as a lone striker? It could be one of the solutions, to be accompanied by Babel on the right and Rutter or Bjørn Larsen on the left. Hoeneß should really work on this matter during the international break. It is a last chance to reshuffle our team before it is too late to do that. That's all for now. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Hoffenheim's Family. See you next time.